My name's Laurie Skreslet. I'm from Calgary, Alberta. That's where I was born and that's where I continue to live. Started working for Outward Bound in Canada in 1974 and I loved every moment of it. The big attraction for me is the opportunity to empower people, to help people realize that their limitations for the most part are self-imposed and the only one responsible for breaking through those limitations is themselves. And when I can teach people some tools, some techniques, guide them through experiences that help them build their confidence, and so at the end of a 21-day course, see them leave a stronger individual than when they arrived, that makes me feel whole and complete in my heart. We have to learn how to persevere. There's no way we're going to change the world if we don't develop those skill sets. And I think Outward Bound, above and beyond, presents that aspect way more powerfully than any of the other organizations. A lot of times I see a course run by others and it's a skills course. Nothing wrong with that. But I love the philosophy behind what Outward Bound's about. I love it. In fact, it's what I identify with. It's permeated my life through and through since I got introduced to Outward Bound at 14.
My name is Amy Peters. I've been involved with Outward Bound for about 10 years. I've worked for a number of different outdoor education companies, and Outward Bound is still the one that I think is closest to my heart. I'm convinced that outdoor work is something that we do because we feel passionately about it. And I just feel so rewarded on every trip I lead. Every time I finish a course and you see how people have come together and you've created this great group of people that didn't know each other to begin with, and all of a sudden now you feel like a family and you're part of that. So for me, the community aspect is really important, that every time I work with Outward Bound, I become part of a community, and it's both the community that's with me in the woods, but also the larger Outward Bound community. And I know that I have this support system behind me. And at the same time, I have a lot of autonomy to do what works for me and to help me be authentic in the Outward Bound trips that I lead. These type of expeditions help us to just be here and not have all the excess of information that we're often flooded with in life. And to then be able to go back and decipher what are the pieces that I need to pay attention to and what are the pieces that I can just let go of. If the outdoors is a place that you love, and yeah, if this feels like really meaningful work, like for me, this is super meaningful work, and that far surpasses any challenges.
My name is Jason Couric. I'm working with the Alberta Rockies team out of Canmore as a course director. Some of my favorite things about being an instructor are being able to share my passion for being in wild places and sharing knowledge, sharing skills, and how that can impact other lives. And you're not just doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for a greater good, you're doing it for someone else, and maybe give some thought why it is you're wanting to do it, aside from any personal gain. Seeing the smile on someone's face when they realize they've done something that they couldn't do before or didn't think they could do, or they've had a realization in their life, and sometimes that happens after. Those are some of the things that I enjoy. I think what makes Outward Bound unique is the focus on the human aspect of being adventurous. So not only do we move through terrain and over water and through the natural world, we explore the emotional and mental world, what's going on inside of you. And I think we do that well. We're constantly learning and building resilience. So there's a higher purpose to walking around in the woods or paddling out on the ocean or on the rivers, and constantly being reminded that there is so much more to learn, and those lessons come in all shapes and sizes.
My name is Judith. I am originally from Montreal. I think a good Outward Bound instructor is compassionate, yet I want to use the word fierce, but I think it's someone who's really balanced, someone who knows how to push students, but also how to turn around and give them the biggest hug if they need them. They're able to force them to be the best version of themselves, but also allow them to feel really vulnerable and safe. So I think that a good instructor has that balance and can really sort of show both sides easily. I think that's one of my favorite parts of the Outward Bound course, is seeing the group evolve, trying to figure out who am I going to be in this group and who are you in this group. And then as time goes by, there's a closeness and a bond that forms quicker than in any other situation I've ever been in. And then as the trip progresses, you start to see that. You start to see friendships forming, and it's really inclusive. And of course, with any situation, there's going to be ups and downs, and at some point your group will go through a storming period and we'll have some bickering and this and that, but I think that's, again, you know, with the help of the leaders, that they're able to sort of steer that course. And conflict is a really good thing within a group, and I expect it. And sort of thrive on it, really, because that allows the group to sort of work through that and get to the next stage. Being an Outward Bound instructor is about putting your own needs aside and really being there for individuals and for the group's well-being. And I think that's something that takes time and is not for everyone, but I think that's certainly the most rewarding work.
Delmore Williams is my given name, but my ancestral name is Wobokanam. I come from the Squamish Nation, Lil'wat people. I've been with Outward Bound going on 12 years now. I spent many years learning all aspects of the wilderness, you know, the trees, you know, the type of plants, and just how primitively we would walk through the earth with nothing. I think I bring a different perspective to Outward Bound. And I guided high-risk Native youth for Outward Bound for about 8 years, you know, doing 3 21-day backpacking courses in one summer. I guess I just like being cold, wet, and hungry, and and just accept it. Some kids that I've seen barely know how to lace up their hiking boots, and by the end they're cooking and cleaning and setting up and staying warm and staying dry. And I really think that what I'm doing does make a difference with the young people, to see them sort of walk from one realm into another, and just a lot of those things are rewarding to see.
My name is Sarah Steele Johnston, and I first got involved with Outward Bound as a participant when I was 15 years old. And I took another course again when I was 16, and then I've now been instructing for 2 years out of the Rocky Mountain branch. I think to be a good Outward Bound instructor, you need to be creative. You have to be very flexible, because the nature of expedition is that everything changes, and you need to be able to roll with that, and to truly believe in the power of wild spaces to impact people, and to want to be a steward of those experiences, and to also care for people and be compassionate. What I'd hope for all students to take away from Outward Bound courses is that they are so capable, that they can achieve far more than they thought possible, and that they can attain mastery in something with dedicated pursuit. The most rewarding part is the relationships that I create with the students, and watching their transformation and seeing how competent they can become, and also how caring they can be for one another within a group setting when they met 10 days ago and were complete strangers.
I think as a human being, we're obligated to help each other. And some do it in certain ways, others do it in other ways. My daughter works for the UN, and what she does affects large numbers of people. I don't know if I'm so good at something that broad, but I know I'm good at one-on-one interaction with people, and I know I can instill confidence. So that's one way I found I can give back. And I think I have a talent for recognizing in other people who would make a good instructor, that are good at hands-on and interacting with people and leading them and helping guide them to take on leadership roles themselves. And I think it's our, maybe not duty, but our responsibility to help each other. I mean, what are we here for? And we got to put something back into the world that's positive. And being an Outward Bound instructor, I think, gives an individual great opportunity for doing that, for changing the world in a positive way. Because if we do our job well, our students are going to leave with the incentive and the idea that, you know what, I don't know if I can do this, but I know I can try. And a lot of times it's just showing up and being there. That's the way I got up Everest. It certainly wasn't because I was the best climber. I was outclassed by many of the people on the climb, but I was in the right place at the right time because I kept trying. What does that prove? It proves that showing up has big value, and making an effort has big value. That's why I think we need more good Outward Bound instructors. We need more.